Hello and welcome to a new video, and today we're flying with Ryanair or Malta Air again, this time back from London Stansted to Berlin Brandenburg Airport, and here on the map you can see our approximate flight route today. In the last video we arrived with the Stansted Express from London, and now it is time to fly back to Germany. Here you can see our plane arriving, and that was a very typical Ryanair situation. This is our exact plane landing, and at the same time we were already called for boarding, and that was not a joke. We actually were already called for boarding, had to wait at the jet bridge until the last passenger of the previous flight had left the plane, and immediately after we could board the plane. So it was less than half an hour on the ground, and so we could catch up a little bit with the delay. The plane arrived about 20 minutes delayed, and we left the airport with a delay of about 10 minutes. So you can say about Ryanair whatever you want, but they are very efficient, so that was quite surprising and interesting to see. And the plane was also looking quite nice, not dirty or anything. Seat pitch, again, surprisingly big. I had enough space, it's not less than on any other European airline. And then it was already time for departure with a delay of about 10 minutes only. I will tell you a bit more about the plane later on, but now it is time to take a look at the departure of our plane and the takeoff, and of course we can also listen to the sound of our Boeing 737-800. And here we are in the air on our way to Berlin. Our plane today is a 7-year-old Boeing 737-800 with the registration 9HQCV. The plane was built in May 2016 for Ryanair, was moved to Malta Air in January 2020, and since then it's flying for Malta Air on behalf of Ryanair. As you can see, after flying through the clouds we had an amazing sunset. It was a very beautiful flight with a lot of scenic views, and of course there's no included service on board, and there are quite a few announcements because Ryanair is always trying to sell a few things, but in my opinion that is quite okay. If you compare the prices, Ryanair is much cheaper than most other airlines, but is offering more or less the same quality, so I can accept that there are a few more announcements, even though they might be a bit annoying. But still, it is quite cheap, so what can you say? We are now already slowly approaching the airport of Berlin, the last minutes of the sunset. The landing in Berlin was already in the darkness, so there's not too much to see, but of course we're still gonna see it in a second. During the flight I purchased a can of Birra Moretti, which was the beer that we drank quite a few times on the cruise that I'm coming from, that you saw in the last videos. So this was the farewell drink of this very beautiful trip to Norway with Ambassador Cruise Lines, and the prices on board were quite acceptable, not too expensive, so also that is quite good. Here you can see the beer, and soon after, as I said, it was time for landing. The landing in Berlin was quite something special because this was the landing with the strongest braking that I've ever experienced. But that was of course on purpose because we could take one exit earlier, and it saved us about 10 minutes, so we actually landed almost on time even though we started delayed. So also on my second flight with Ryanair, it was a quite soft landing, so the cliche was not true again, but the braking was something else. That was quite an experience. So everything was perfect to arrive on time, but suddenly we stopped and there was an announcement by the captain, and he informed us that the airport BER does not have any staff available to guide us to our parking position, so we had to wait for about 10 minutes. So in the end we were delayed again. But that was not the fault of Ryanair, so the flight with Ryanair was very nice. Again, I was surprised by the quality, and I can recommend Ryanair. Most of the negative things that I read about Ryanair were not true on both of the flights we took with them. But the first impression of the BER Airport was not very nice, with the missing staff, and then you have to walk through this very depressing hallway without any kind of color or decoration. And it got worse because here you can see our plane landed at 10:40 and we had to wait until 11:35 to 11:50 for the luggage. And that was actually true. We had to wait about 1 hour and there is almost no seating available. Even elderly people had to sit on the floor for 1 hour to wait for the luggage. So in the end, that was a very negative experience here at the BER Airport. And then we took the S-Bahn to our hotel, which is quite close to the airport, but still we arrived there almost 2 hours after our plane landed due to the slow baggage handling on the ground of the BER Airport. But that's not the fault of Ryanair either, so to conclude, my flight with Ryanair was very nice. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Here you can see when the next video will be uploaded. As always, I'd like to say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please consider to comment, like, subscribe or share the video link, and I hope to see you in my next video.